Assalamualaikum and hi. So today my group and I will be present about the relationship between screen time on social media and sleep time. So the population and the sample of study, we developed a Google form to find the relationship between screen time spent on social media and sleep duration among FSM students. As a result, we collected responses from 20 students representing the various screen time spent on social media and sleep duration. So the significance of the study is to examine the relationship between social media screen time and daily sleep duration among FSM students, highlighting how excessive screen usage may impact the sleep quality and overall well-being. Second, provide valuable insight into gender-specific behavioral patterns and digital habits by comparing the variance in average social media screen time between genders, contributing to a deeper understanding of social media usage. Third, identifies the variations in sleep habit by analyzing the mean sleep duration between genders, which can guide the development of tailored intervention to promote healthier lifestyle practices for both male and female students. So the objectives of the study is to examine the relationship between screen time on social media and sleep duration among FSM students per day. This objective will be achieved by using correlation. Next, is to compare the variance of average screen time on social media between genders. We achieve this objective by using F-test to sample for variance. The third objective is to compare the mean sleep duration between genders. To achieve this objective, we use the hypothesis test about the mean.
Now, let's move to our first objective, which is to examine the relationship between screen time on social media and sleep duration among FSM students per day. For this objective, we're going to use correlation method. Okay, now this is all the data that we already collect from 20 FSM students, which is we have screen time X and sleep duration Y. This method we also sketch a scatter plot, which is a graph screen time on social media versus sleep duration. For at the y-axis, we have screen time on social media, which is in hours, and for the x-axis, we have sleep duration in hours. Okay, now we must calculate the correlation coefficient, which is R. The formula that we already stick in here. After we key in the data, we got R equal to negative 0.951, and then we interpret the negative value. Okay, next, by using t-test method, we have 5 steps. The first step is state the hypothesis. H null, rho equal to 0, which is there is no correlation between screen time and sleep duration. And for the second one, H1, rho not equal to 0, which is there is significant correlation between screen time and sleep duration. For the second step is find the critical value. Since alpha equal to 0.05 with degree of freedom 20 minus 2, which is 18, the critical value obtained from the t-distribution table are plus minus 1.734. Third step, we must compute the test value. Like we already state the formula here. After we key in the data, we will get t equal to negative 30.049. For the fourth step, we must make a decision, which is we reject the null hypothesis since the t value, t equal to negative 13.049, fall into the rejection region. And the final step, which is step 5, we need to summarize the result, which is there is a significant relationship between screen time and sleep duration in hours. As we can see here, we use a software which is called Jamovi. This following result that we obtained, which is we got the same value with manual calculation. The final thing for this objective, we have a graph average of screen time spent on social media versus sleep time per day in hours using software. So we can see here the graph.
Next, our second objective is to compare the variance of average screen time on social media between gender. Here, we have a data for this analysis. The table shows the average screen time on social media and the corresponding frequency for female and male. To achieve that, we use F-test for two samples of variance. First step is to state the null and alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis states that the variance of female and male are equal, but the alternative hypothesis claims that the variance of female are more than the variance of male. Next, we will select the distribution to use. We use F distribution table to compute F test for two samples of variance. Then we will determine the rejection and non-rejection region. Using the 0.05 table, since alpha is equal to 0.05 and this is a one-tailed test, while degrees of freedom for numerator dfn is 10 minus 1 equals to 9 and degrees of freedom for denominator dfd is 10 minus 1 equal to 9. The critical F value is 3.178. Here we see a graph illustrating the rejection and non-rejection regions in a hypothesis test. The curve represents the distribution of test statistic and the critical value is marked as 3.178. Any value of the test statistic greater than this falls into the rejection region as highlighted by the shaded area. This means we will reject the null hypothesis if the test statistic exceeds 3.178. Conversely, the area under the curve to the left of 3.178 represents the non-rejection region where the null hypothesis is accepted. Then, we will calculate the value for the test statistic. First thing first, we need to calculate the mean of average time spent on social media for female and male. So, the mean for female is 4.6, while the mean for male is 2.2. From the mean obtained, we will calculate the variance of average time spent on social media for female and male. So, the variance for female is 4.267, while for male is 1.067. Here is the formula. F equals to the variance of females divided by the variance of males. In our case, the variance for female is 4.267 and for males it's 1.067. When we divide this value, the F value comes out to approximately 4 or 3.999. This value will be critical for making our decision. Now, let's make a decision based on our calculated F value. Since the statistical F value is equal to 3.999, while the critical F value is 3.178 and it falls in the rejection region, then we reject the H null or the null hypothesis. We have enough evidence to say that the variance of average time spent on social media for male is more than the variance of average time spent on social media for male. Here is a summary of the data used for our F test. We calculated the means, variance and other statistical values for both groups using Excel. The summary shows that female has a higher mean and variance compared to male, supporting our early decision.
Now we go to the third objective. We compare the mean sleep duration between either, which is male and female. That's our table we got from our data that we collect from Google Form. We collect using a Google Form. For the step 1, we state the null and alternative hypothesis, which is for the null hypothesis, mu male minus mu female is equal to 0, and our alternative hypothesis, mu male minus mu female greater than 0, or we can write it into mu male greater than female. Since our n data is less than 30 for both samples, so we can consider that the samples are small. Therefore, we use the t-distribution to perform the hypothesis test. For the step 3, we show our rejection region, which is we got our alpha is equal to 0.05 and our critical t value at alpha is equal to 0.05 is equal to 1.734, and that is our rejection region. Okay, next, for the step 4, we calculate for both sample mean and standard deviation, and then we insert for both sample mean and standard deviation to calculate the t statistic value, which is we can insert it into this formula, and then we got 3.1197 and we approximately it into 3.12. The critical value of t from the table t with 5% significant level, which is alpha is equal to 0.05, and our degrees of freedom is equal to 18, which is 20 minus 2, and therefore we got 1.734 for the critical t value. Since the t statistic is equal to 3.12 and while the critical value is equal to 1.734 and it falls in rejection region, then we reject the null hypothesis because we have enough evidence to say that the mean male student sleep duration per day more than female student sleep duration per day. We calculate it manually. We also using a software which is GenMovie to calculate the mean and variance and independent sample test, and our result that we are obtained is same with manual, and then we can conclude that our analysis to confirm that male students tend to have longer sleep duration than female students. Further, studies can investigate the factors behind this difference.
In conclusion, the analysis shows the value of t-test is negative 13.049. Statistically significant negative correlation between screen time on social media among FSM students and their sleep duration. As the time spent on social media increases, the duration of sleep decreases. This suggests that higher screen time on social media is associated with shorter sleep duration. From the calculation for second objective, we can conclude that female may spend significantly more time on social media compared to male. From the variance obtained, we know that male data have more consistent pattern. For the third conclusion, the mean male students' sleep duration per day is greater than female. That means male students tend to allocate more hours per day to sleep compared to female students.